It's Wednesday already, and actually closer to Thursday than not. Tomorrow, I hope you have an edition of this week's Sagersville Independent. Before I do, well, when I'm with you and have one, I'll have one bright and early, but they'll be hitting newsstands tomorrow, as of course it is publication day. We'll have the latest on Community Day, and of course the cancellation of the live event, but how they're working to make sure that the fundraising part of it goes on much like last year, but maybe even better than that. So that and a host of other news and information on tonight's program, as I could not confirm but believed at 6 o'clock last evening, and pending notification of next of kin would have still kept us from making any announcements, but the single vehicle accident that I reported to you on last evening did in fact prove fatal. I'll let you know more about that, and I also have funeral service announcements for the deceased. We have a lot of COVID news, as you can well imagine. It has continued to get dramatically worse in just the past 24 hours. And overdose deaths, we've been talking about that now, and how during the pandemic we've seen a significant number over the past year and a half or so. And I have the statewide numbers, and I've also started to go over some local data that I'll share with you on that front as well. Let's go ahead and go to our COVID segment at this time, as we will talk about state, national, and local data on this evening, and then we'll get to our other headlines. First off, a number of healthcare facilities in Kentucky today, 2 specifically, but operating, of course, throughout much of Kentucky. Appalachian Regional Healthcare, and then UK Healthcare joining others, and others expected to join these in similar announcements. UK Healthcare announced today that a COVID vaccination will be required for all of their providers, their staff, anyone in training, anyone who is going to be working and employed in the UK healthcare facilities. Those individuals will be required to have a vaccination, at least the first vaccination by September the 15th, and unless that is, of course, they have a significant medical or religious reason as defined with the American with Disabilities Act. Dr. Mark Newman, he is UK's Executive Vice President for Health Affairs, and he issued a statement that said in part, "This reinforces the importance of vaccination and we hope encourages more vaccination throughout the Commonwealth. Vaccination is the primary way to put the pandemic behind us and avoid the return of stringent public health measures." UK joining many other hospitals in the state, and well over 50, closer to 70, I believe, major medical facilities and organizations, including the American Medical Association, Nurses Association of America, and others who have called for mandatory vaccination of healthcare workers as this very highly contagious and dangerous Delta variant continues to wreak havoc across the country. The UK healthcare system also citing that we have seen an increase 200% at least just the past 2 weeks or less of COVID cases here in McGoffin County. And as I told you, ARH, which operates a number of facilities as well, made essentially the same announcement earlier today. All employees, volunteers, students, providers, anyone working inside one of their hospitals or facilities or clinics in, of course, West Virginia and here in Kentucky will have to have a COVID vaccine to remain or to be employed. There was an internal memo that was released earlier today. As such, they will be issuing an official public release later in the week, simply saying that at this hour, that despite COVID-19 vaccination education and outreach efforts, the communities we serve, including our ARH healthcare staff, have not yet reached a critical mass of vaccination to provide sufficient protection for the unvaccinated. For those reasons, and in support of their mission to provide a safe work environment for their staff and a safe place to care for their patients, the ARH healthcare system is requiring healthcare employees, providers, and basically anyone in their facilities to be vaccinated. They must have their first dose by September the 15th, their second to become fully vaccinated by November the 1st, and not doing so will render that individual or individuals subject for termination. Again, it applies to all students, volunteers, staff, providers and anyone who works in those facilities, and they're going to make a public announcement, or at least more of an announcement, very, very soon. I suspect we'll be hearing more from other healthcare facilities on the same note. So with that said, let's begin with the state numbers tonight. 1,803 new cases in the Commonwealth of Kentucky yesterday, the highest number we have seen since we've started tracking back upwards. 4 deaths also with those more than 1,800 cases reported yesterday. Today, we by far surpassed that. Today's COVID report so concerning, said Governor Beshear, that he released the following statement. As today's numbers were worse than when we didn't have a vaccine in existence just earlier this year.
Today we're reporting 2,583 new cases of COVID-19. That is the most since February 3rd, when vaccines weren't available to many parts of our population. We have more people in the hospital with COVID or in the ICU or on a ventilator than we have since February. Our positivity rate is now over 10%, 10.08%, the highest since January 24th. We are not moving the right direction, and remember, with more cases comes more death. We have 10 new deaths we're announcing today, including a 21-year-old from Davis County that passed away in August due to COVID-19. This is serious. The Delta variant is real, and we have to be willing to do what it takes. Folks, you need to get vaccinated. Things will get worse before they get better, but we can fight this. We can reduce the loss and the damage if you're willing to get vaccinated. And then we need to be wearing masks indoors when we're outside our home. That means all of us. Our recommendation is, no matter where you are in Kentucky right now, if you're going indoors with people outside of your home, put on that mask again. It's not forever. It's just for now. It's temporary. But with 2,583 new cases and 10 new deaths, it's something we need to do. Thank you.
Now turning to today's Magoffin County case count, I just confirmed with Felicia Eastep at the Magoffin County Health Department. They had 10 new cases today before the close of business, and they were expecting already several tomorrow, just with some tests that they know are coming in with some exposed individuals who were, I believe, showing symptoms. So those other cases weren't in time to be added to today's total, so it looks as though we will see another number of cases tomorrow in Magoffin County. Remember, we had 22 on Monday, 4 yesterday, but back up to 10 today here in Magoffin County, and we still currently have 5 people hospitalized due to the coronavirus from just here in Magoffin County. And while we'll take a look at today's incident rate map in just a few moments, which does officially have Magoffin County in the red, the state's still not showing it to be as high as what the health department's formula, which is the same exact one the state uses, earlier this week, already up into the mid-30s. But 10 new cases for Magoffin County today. While we take a look at our neighbors, I do not have today's numbers from the Johnson County and Floyd County health departments, as I rarely ever do. I usually have them from the day prior, for which yesterday Johnson County had another 18 cases. 3 of those 18 cases were in people who had their vaccine, but were not, per my understanding, believed to be showing as serious of symptoms as those who were showing symptoms that were unvaccinated. Floyd County had 31 additional cases yesterday, and they were still reviewing cases at the time of that information that I received that, and believed to be having possibly even more than that. Of course, more than likely those to be included in today's numbers. So there you have Floyd County at 71.9 and counting, Martin County 43.4, Johnson 41.9. Magoffin County again showing up at 29.4, but we know per the health department that number is actually higher, and we are well more into the red than that. And as for the state of Kentucky as a whole, no more green. This is today's incident rate map. 0 green. We're down to a mere 4 yellow counties, Fulton and Hickman, all the way to the far as you can go to the west, Trigg and Nicholas County. So 0 green, 4 yellow. We're down to a mere 28 orange, which leaves the rest remaining 88 Kentucky counties, all in the red or critical zone. Also, on a COVID-related note, the Montgomery County Board of Education, at last report I had, was planning a special meeting possibly this week to discuss their procedures and planning for dealing with COVID and the start of school, which is next week on the 11th. While the Johnson County Board of Education met last evening and put together their plan, a safe return to in-person instruction district plan, where masks will be recommended but not required, although some activities or classes may require students to wear masks, or at least do so temporarily. Students will be, they say, required to social distance more than 3 feet in classrooms. Also, they will be working to proper ventilate or even more ventilate standard classrooms, installing certain or specific ionization devices onto their existing HVAC systems, using the process of opening windows, classes, lunch, outdoors when possible, in an effort to try to reduce the spread of COVID-19 in the Johnson County School District. They also say they will follow isolation measures and contact tracing as is determined by the Kentucky Department of Public Health and the CDC, which essentially right now would mean that anyone who is within 6 feet of an infected person for more than 15 minutes, excluding kids K through 12 in a classroom setting where they are greater than 3 feet following the masking guidelines, those will be required to quarantine and considered safe to stop the quarantine after 7 days of being symptom-free with a negative COVID-19 test 5 days or later from the last exposure, or 10 days after exposure with no testing if the individual is symptom-free. The plan for Johnson County schools for their students will return to 5 days a week of in-person instruction, and they will offer an option to have virtual learning within the school system as well. And as of right now, per the CDC and the KDE, they will be requiring masks on all school buses and public transportation. All the COVID, fortunately, that I have for now. I'll be right back. Stop in JJ's Burgers and Beer for the weekend specials like 10 boneless buffalo wings and an 18-inch pizza, any toppings, for $14.99. Stop by any day of the week and get any 16-inch pizza for $9.99 and any 18-inch pizza for only $11.99. They've got a different sandwich or soup special every day of the week, big gourmet class hamburger combos, and your favorite domestic beer, $2.49 a bottle or $7.99 by the bucket. JJ's Burgers and Beer at Speedy's in Sagersville. Summer is definitely in full swing at the seasonal shop, where it is filled with new arrivals in home decor, women's clothing, Ridge and Holler, and more. They've given their home decor a fresh look, and they have new displays literally wall to wall, from farmhouse to traditional, equestrian, and more. And Oat Shore neoprene bags are the latest craze in women's accessories, and they've got dozens of colors and styles available right now, and new ones coming in daily. And lily planters have arrived just in time for school or work. And don't leave the guys out, Ridge and Holler shirts, yes, that's a Montgomery County Cadillac cap, and hats are a huge seller at the seasonal shop. Designs so unique and so special for our area. Designs you can only get at the seasonal shop. They still have delivery, baby and wedding registry, curbside service, and more. Call the pros. All Pro Gutter Works specializes in seamless gutters, vinyl siding, metal roofing, replacement doors and windows, remodeling or adding on to your home, with free and fair estimates backed by decades of happy and return customers, with guaranteed satisfaction and 18 months 0% financing. All Pro Gutter Works. 349-9999. There's no missing that this is the new McFarland and Tinker Law Office location on the Mountain Parkway in the former Farm Bureau building in Sagersville, just like there's no denying that their nearly 60 years of legal experience has won their clients millions and millions of dollars in disability, auto accident, and wrongful death cases. It's where your case matters to you and to us. McFarland and Tinker, also Griffey approved. Well, actually, it wasn't all the COVID I had for now. Just real quickly, as I read in a report just a few days ago, medical professionals and researchers already trying to warn everyone that there will be several other variants after the Delta further on down the line, possibly getting stronger each and every time. There is now currently a Delta Plus that has been determined to be prevalent, or at least present in South Korea. Their Disease Control and Prevention Agency says it's been recording cases of the new coronavirus Delta Plus variant, which some believe is even worse than the Delta variant that, of course, we are dealing with pretty much all over our country and most all over the world. It's been found in the UK and here in the United States already, and has the ability to bind directly and more easily to a person's lung cells, and could be even more so resistant to the drugs and methods that we're using to treat the coronavirus and the Delta variant. And the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issued a new eviction moratorium. This one will last until October the 3rd, after the other one expired per the Supreme Court ruling. It again temporarily halts evictions in counties with substantial and high levels of virus transmission, and will cover areas where 90% of the U.S. population lives. So that is back in effect. There was a single car crash, as I told you last evening, with a reasonable amount of information, but we were still awaiting confirmation as to the investigation, and with the understanding at that hour that there was a critical individual, or that the patient involved being taken to the hospital was in critical condition. And indeed, we learned late last evening that the McGoffin County man involved in that crash yesterday on 460 West, just a couple of miles out of downtown Sagersville, did pass away from his serious and severe injuries. It was just a minute or two before 3 o'clock yesterday that calls started to come into McGoffin County 911 from motorists, many of which, or at least several of which saw the accident actually take place, describing to me, as I described to you last night, as a Ford F-150 traveling on 460 West out of Sagersville, dropping off of the roadway, and the vehicle then hitting a ditch or culvert area, then coming back into the roadway, and then overturning at least on one occasion, the driver, of which the only person in the vehicle, then being ejected through the sunroof of the truck, thrown several feet into the air and several feet away from the vehicle. I confirmed with Chief Matthew Watson of the Sagersville Police Department earlier today, who handled the investigative part of the accident, that the individual did not appear to have been wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash. Motorists stopped and attempted to render aid, describing him as unconscious. A helicopter was called to a landing zone established at the North McGoffin Elementary School. However, his condition was too dire and too unstable for them to transport him by air. He was taken instead by ground ambulance to the Palby Hall Medical Center, where 64-year-old Randy Salyer was pronounced dead from his injuries. I do have funeral service announcements, as they have just been set through the McGoffin County Funeral Home, in just a second. As I don't have anything pressing at this hour on tonight's McGoffin Farm Bureau community calendar, just gives me a little space to remind everyone, if you've got a birthday or anniversary, anything you want on the calendar for your church, group, club, organization, what have you, this is how you tell me, so I can pass it along to everyone else. Going on to those obituary listings, as I said, services set today for 64-year-old Randall Salyer of Sagersville, who passed away in that crash on yesterday. The son of the late Jimmy Salyer and the late Lorena Patton Salyer Lynch. He's survived by his wife, Susie Pennington Salyer, son Jimmy Randall, daughter Misty Salyer Francis, sister Wanda Morgan, 2 grandkids, and 2 great-grandchildren. Funeral services, I understand, have been set for this Saturday at 2 from the McGoffin County Funeral Home, with burial to follow in the Marshall Cemetery at Gun Creek. Friends can call on the funeral home for visitation Friday from 4 till 9 and up until services start again Saturday at 2. And lastly tonight, to be read in loving memory of Olin Ray Bub Collett, whose birthday would have been this week on August the 2nd, born in 1984. He passed away in March of 2012. In loving memory of Bub Collett.
Just click on ConleyTire.net and you can shop for tires. Find out more about services, brands, wheels, rims, their free coffee, free Wi-Fi, and free local shuttle service. And of course, the latest and greatest current offers and specials, like how right now you can get up to $150 back on a set of Goodyears. That's ConleyTire.net, or you can always stop by in Staffordsville or give them a call at 297-2424. It's time to play the Lee's Famous Recipe Daily Lunch Special Game, where behind curtain number 1 we have our super tasty country fried steak sandwich, and behind curtain number 2 our famous chicken sandwich with lettuce, pickle, and mayo, and you can get either one of those on a bun or a biscuit. But wait, behind curtain number 3 our extra famous footlong with homemade chili, and all 3 come served with our famous hand-dipped potato wedges and a drink. Monday through Friday for lunch from 11 to 2 for just $5 plus tax. You're a winner either way you go at your Sayersville Lee's Famous Recipe.
I'm Dr. Jason Zimmerman at Highlands ARH, the healthcare system of Appalachia.
Summer is here, and the deal on the iPhone 12 mini just got even hotter at Appalachian Wireless. The iPhone 12 mini comes with massive features and is the perfect pocket size. Best of all, Appalachian Wireless is offering the iPhone 12 mini for just $1 with a 2-year contract. Good things do come in small packages, and it's the iPhone 12 mini on the region's best network. But don't wait. This deal won't last long. We are you. We are Appalachian Wireless.
Welcome to East Kentucky's premier vape and CBD shop, offering all natural tobacco alternatives and everything vape and smoke shop related. Everything you're looking for and everything you're not. Best quality, best prices, best service.
Come to Appalachian Smoke Shop for all your tobacco alternatives and accessories, as well as products like CBD, kratom, and legal THC that people are telling us they're using to treat pain, anxiety, depression, difficulty sleeping, and lack of energy, as well as just for overall wellness. Make it your one stop, Appalachian Smoke Shop.
Parkway Pharmacy, as always, promises the quickest service with the very best care and prices, and to always have someone there to talk to when you have a question. With 3 pharmacists, curbside, drive-through, and call-ahead service. Parkway Pharmacy in Sayersville, 349-4400.
Where you can always talk to a pharmacist when you need one.
Overdoses. I've referred to them on a couple of occasions here in the past few weeks. I've been gathering some data. I got the most recent data in today after an open records request for McGoffin County 911 as to just the number of overdose calls in McGoffin County. I'll elaborate on that in just a few seconds. But also released today a study and report from the Kentucky Justice and Public Safety Cabinet where they have compiled data for the overdose deaths that took place here in Kentucky, specifically what we're looking at over the course of last year. And there is some startling data, not just in the fact that almost 2,000 Kentuckians died from overdoses in 2020, but also as well the significant increase in the involvement or the containment of fentanyl in most of those cases.
First, let's go to the top right of your screen. Data compiled by the Kentucky Office of Vital Statistics says that the most resident overdose deaths by county, this is age-adjusted per capita, not county, with a number of 121.69. There you will see below that Clark, second, Bourbon, then Henry, then Carter. The most resident fentanyl-related deaths by county goes to Jefferson County, of course, with its large population. But there's some other data to be taken from this, and we'll be talking more about this, I promise you, in the days and weeks to come. According to the Kentucky Medical Examiner's Office, this increase in the death toll, 50% from 2019 to 2020, was an increase attributed mostly to opioid abuse. But listen to this: out of those 1,964 cases, 1,393 or 71% involved some form of fentanyl. 70% involved fentanyl, the most dangerous thing perhaps in existence in this world in that regard. Methamphetamine, a very strong and very cheap and easy to get methamphetamine, also accounted for a significant number of overdose deaths. Now, as far as just overdose calls, not fatalities, we'll talk about that later in McGoffin County, there were 6 overdose calls that came into 911 in McGoffin County just last month. 2 on 2 separate occasions, 2 on August the 15th, 2 on August the 16th, and 2 others, for a total of just 6 calls, official calls, still an unknown other number, but those 6 official calls to McGoffin County 911 just last month of people unresponsive due to an overdose.
And lastly, a few showers, a few thunderstorms as well in parts of eastern Kentucky, possibly in parts of the viewing area before the night's end. Now we turn to your Licking Valley RECC 7-day outlook.
As you've noticed over my shoulder, no rain falling in the downtown Sagersville area and throughout much of McGoffin County. Extreme northern McGoffin County might be seeing a few drops, maybe even the extreme southern part of the county as well, but essentially some showers not affecting us at this time. We do have chances thereof, though, throughout the rest of the evening and on and off throughout the week. 30% chance of showers and storms tonight, a low of 61, and partly cloudy skies. The shower chance is really winding down, and then by 8 o'clock or so, should be gone, leaving us with just some partly cloudy to mostly cloudy skies tonight. But tomorrow, we clear up quite nicely. Look for a little morning fog. 80 degrees, mostly sunny for your Thursday. Actually, it should be 83 degrees and mostly sunny on your Thursday. My apologies, a bit of a typo there. So 83, 63 for your high and low tomorrow, but mostly sunny, mostly clear, and beautiful. For your Friday, we hit around 84 degrees, still mostly sunny, still dry, and nice, and really beautiful next several days in the forecast. Shower chances 0 tomorrow and Friday. For the weekend, yeah, they're here, but not too awfully bad. I think Saturday we see the mid-80s. We see mostly sunny skies. We'll see about a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms midday. It will wane down to about 10% before 7 o'clock or so Saturday night. Sunday, none to speak of. Again, yeah, sunny. 86, partly cloudy, a really nice weekend ahead. Very nice. Next week, not starting off on a bad note either, but starting off in the upper 80s with mostly sunny skies across the board. We will see a 20% chance of some showers and thunderstorms on your Monday, 40% on your Tuesday, and then maybe back down to 30% or so by midweek as temperatures will slowly go. Look at that, 86, 87, 88, and 89 Sunday through Wednesday.
That's it. Good Wednesday. Good evening. See you back here tomorrow.